Hello, I'm Kellie Riordan, and we're continuing with our series where we give you podcast picks, shows that you can listen to while you're stuck at home. My Indian Life is a beautiful and emotional podcast that lets you have a look at what it's like living as a millennial in 21st century India. A French-Indian Bollywood actress called Kalki teams up with the BBC World Service. We meet a belly dancer whose career choice doesn't really fit with the aspirations of his rather orthodox parents. And we meet an aspiring Bollywood singer whose stammer threatens to derail his career. This podcast is beautifully done, and it really taps into what it's like for millennials in India dealing with sexuality, religion, oppression, and feminism. This one remains my go-to podcast of choice. Heavyweight is a fantastic show hosted by Jonathan Goldstein, where he goes back and helps people right a wrong from their past. Jonathan Goldstein has an unusual style. It's sort of a bit essayist, narrative. He's a little like David Sedaris. He makes me laugh every single episode. But he finds these incredible stories that you just can't believe are really true. The gateway episode for this podcast is one called Gregor, where somebody tries to track down a borrowed CD from decades ago, and the plot takes you all the way to the home of the electronic dance artist Moby. But I also love an episode called Isabel. A suitcase is found on a Brooklyn street corner and it's full of love letters. Can Jonathan find out who owns these love letters and get the pair back together? This is pure escapism listening. Heavyweight, my favourite ever podcast. If you're missing live theatre at the moment, you might want to check out a podcast from the UK called Have You Heard George's Podcast? You might already be familiar with George the poet. He did an opening address at the wedding of Prince Harry to Meghan Markle. He's a Ugandan-born spoken word poet who really riffs on social commentary. Now, you should start with the must-listen episode about the real-life drama of the Grenfell Tower fires in London, which claimed more than 70 lives. This show expertly combines sound design, spoken word, music, and theatrical devices to bring you in and out of scenes, to allow you to see the perspective of different characters. It's a beautifully produced podcast that will really take you to another place. Thanks for watching, and you can find links to all of these podcasts in the description, and you can also explore all of the other podcast recommendation videos.